Hey guys, so today I want to go over a massive new endgame patch for Path of Exile 2, and that is 0.3.1. And TLDR is that towers are essentially finally gone. So there's a video here and also like a whole summary. I also made a notepad here to quickly go over everything, like a TLDR version, my thoughts on it, all that, because I'm definitely one of the biggest towers haters, self-proclaimed #1 tower hater. So yeah, towers gone is fantastic, or not gone exactly. Essentially, towers are vision only. When you activate a tower now, they'll only reveal stuff around it. Tablets no longer go in towers. You can finally use every single map. So what does this really mean for Poe2 and what are the implications going forward? So first of all, of course, it's just going to make the Atlas so much more fun. You don't have to look for towers anymore. It's completely optional for the most part, right? And you can also run the maps that you want to run for the most part. The big thing with towers being gone is also the fact that you don't have to run all the bad layouts anymore. You can just like go straight in a line. It's like, oh, I don't like this map over here, let me just go this way instead. And like they're going to be equally as juice because there's no longer tower range. How's it going to work is essentially you want to have 3 tablets. When you put your map, there's going to be 3 tablets right below it. You put your 3 tablets, and yeah, it applies to the next 10 maps. So every tablet now has essentially 10 uses. So you put in 3 tablets, and then for the next 10 maps, you have those 3 tablets effects. Now there's a few more things to go over here, so let's go in order. Yeah, tablets for the most part now work like scares in PoE1. They each have 10 uses, and the mods are in general 2 to 3 times stronger than before because you no longer have tower overlaps. So example they use on the post right here is that the rarity tablet now has 30% increased rarity from 10%, 3 times stronger. And they say modifiers are anywhere from 2 to 3 times as powerful. So at the bare minimum, your juice is going to be kind of equivalent to that of a 2 tower overlap. In some cases, a 3 tower overlap, depending on what type of tablets you do use and which type of tablets they buff. We don't know if Quant's going to have 3 times or 2 times powerful, but yeah. Unique tablets will have less than 10 uses, and they, for the most part, they are staying the same from what they said. So it will be interesting there. I would say something like Visions of Paradise, which is the one that allows you to rerun the map multiple times, will probably be tied to the cost of Rakiata's Flow, because you'll probably just use that for the Jade Island map, which drops Rakiata's Flow. You wouldn't use it for normal maps, but yeah. Also something to note, the maps have to have 6 mods to use 3 tablets, and of course 6 mods has 0 portals. So now to max juice, you always have to be running 6 mod maps with 0 portals, or else you cannot use 3 tablets. Where before you could definitely optionally run 5 mod maps to have a second portal just in case you did die. Now it's going to be strictly mandatory to run 6 mod maps, because losing a 3rd tablet is losing 50% of your juice. Another big change is that every map now has a map boss, and most importantly, rares are no longer part of any map objective since bosses are falling in every single map. So the only objective in every single map from now on is to kill the map boss, and that's it. The rares are optional. Obviously, if you're just seeing a map, you do want to kill all the rares because rares do drop all the loot. But yeah, if you're just like exploring the Atlas, you can just kill the boss, rush to him, and that's it. Or if you're doing like ritual, for example, you do all your rituals, rush to the boss, and leave. Either way, this is a very great change. Hunting down rares, which is not fun in maps to do. Hunting down the boss is way faster and also just way more enjoyable, especially since bosses usually are like kind of like a fun part of maps if you don't one-shot them, that is. They also reduced the size of the 15 biggest maps in the game because some maps are just, frankly too large, especially for like PoE2 speed. So it is nice they are reducing the size of some of these maps. Alchemy Orbs can now be used on magic items. So essentially how this works, the Alchemy Orb will make the magic item into rare, reroll all the properties, and give it 4 modifiers in total. So you cannot use it like a Regal Orb, but the purpose of this change is to essentially allow you to Alchemy Orb magic maps now. So you won't have to like all real them anymore. Very, very nice change. It makes Alchemy Orbs way more valuable, and it makes map rolling also less annoying as well. The only downside of this patch, in my opinion, is they did do a nerf where open layout maps have less monster density. Do note that this is a different than the early tier maps on less density. So there's 2 separate changes here. There's one change where every tier 1 map has 30% less monster density, and then as you scale to tier 15, it goes back to normal density. There's a second change where every open layout map has less monster density. So yeah, some maps will have less density than before. I'm definitely not a big fan of this change. I already felt like some maps didn't have enough monsters in them already. I'm not really sure why they're doing this change. They said it was because you don't want to get swarmed in open maps, but yeah, this is definitely the most questionable change in the patch notes. And I wish they didn't reduce monster density in this game because I feel like it doesn't need less monster density. If anything, it probably needs more. Also, random content, stuff like Breach, Ritual, Shrine, Shawn boxes, stuff like that, will now spawn in each map. It chooses like 1 to 3 random content, similar to that of how it works in like Path of Exile 1, where any content can spawn in any map. and maps no longer have the random icons above them because it just randomly spawns. So for example, when you're exploring the Atlas, you won't see like a singular map that has like Breach Expedition anymore. It just won't be on there, but it can still spawn, right? Every single map will spawn some amount of random content. So yeah, it makes every map a little bit more exciting. You don't really know what you're getting in each map, and it gives each map some inherent value and some inherent juice, rather than like some maps just having nothing. You know, like this Trenches has nothing, but this Ice Cave has like, you know, 3 things on it. Also a nice change is that they reduced chilled ground, burning ground, and shock ground coverage and maps by 66%. So that should make these map mods, especially chilled ground, a lot less annoying. That's a really nice change. Citadels have a 66% increased spawn rate. That is also pretty nice. And now there's also new powerful map bosses. So these powerful map bosses, you can locate them by the boss icon. It's the same as before. So remember, every map has a map boss. So now the ones with the boss icon, for example, this Ice Cave, will have a thing called a powerful map boss. These powerful map bosses is how you progress your tiers. So currently you have to do a map boss to progress your tiers. But because of the change in map bosses, they're going to introduce these powerful map bosses, and this is how you drop your +1 to map level. And they also give more rewards as well. Yeah, one thing to note though, if you are still playing Poe2, is that existing tablets that have been applied to your Atlas will remain. They said this in the patch. Well, not the patch notes, but the patch so far. So as you can see right here, existing tablets that have been applied to your Atlas will remain, and you will not lose any value due to these changes. So if you do want to win max, there is one thing you can do if you're still playing Poe2. This means you can set up like these Giga Juice 3 tower overlap maps, and then when the patch comes, they will effectively be equivalent to 5x tower overlaps if you could also use the new tablets, because the new tablets will work separately to how the map works. So presumably, just like TLDR, this map right here, the Shadow map, right? When the patch comes, it's still going to have this quant bonus on top of the map. But then when I put another map in it, I can also put in the 3 new tablets as well, making this map like Giga Juice, like 60, 70, 80% quant before even entering the map. Now, that is some min-max you can do before the patch if you are still playing. This will give you absolutely insane maps. Presumably this is how it should work because of the wording they use. Existing tablets that have been applied to your Atlas, they will remain. So all these maps that are already juice should still be here post-patch. So yeah, I just want to mention that, because if you are still playing, this could be some like really juice maps if you just spend the next week just looking for towers and putting tablets in. So at the end of the video, I just want to say, is this patch worth coming back to play? In my opinion, if you already quit, not really. If you're already playing Poe2, you're currently playing, this will just make the game way more enjoyable for you. But if you're someone who already quit, you most likely already quit due to other reasons as well, and not just towers, which this patch won't address. This patch is essentially just changing the towers and pretty much nothing else as far as we can see, which is great. But of course, there is other reasons, why I'm not playing Poe2 right now. Yeah, this won't address that. Hopefully those do get addressed in 0.4. For me, map prep is still a major issue in Poe2, and it looks like it's not being addressed in this patch, hopefully in 0.4. And remember, 0.4 still aims to be a major endgame patch. And it looks like, at least so far, they're already off to a good start. Overall, this is a great patch and definitely a step in the right direction. I'm glad GG is not like triple or quadrupling down towers anymore. They realize, yeah, towers are an issue, and they are making a fantastic change. Overall, I do think this patch is pretty good, but it definitely won't bring me back to play. I'll probably play for like a day or 2 just to test it out and give some feedback. But yeah, for me, map prep is still a massive issue. Having the 3-to-1 tablets is still a massive issue, which you will have to do in this new patch as well. So with those things still in the game, it makes me still not want to log in and play. But hopefully in 0.4, these things are addressed. Either way, I just want to make a video about this because, yeah, this is a massive win for Poe2. It definitely is a great step in the right direction. I'm getting more and more excited for 0.4 when it comes, if they're making, these big drastic changes already in 0.3. But yeah, that's about it.